Chickens, litter, and lawsuit. All words that at one time wouldn't be used in the same sentence. Contamination, phosphorus levels, and watershed are all words that poultry producers now hear too often.
I heard a poultry farmer once give a radio interview, and she said, you know, our children and our grandchildren, they live on this land, they drink the same spring water that we do, and we would never knowingly harm the environment. And if there are other regulations or problems that maybe we don't know about, I don't think you'll find a farmer out there who's not willing to stand up and say, I'll do whatever I can to make things better.
Something Community Relations Director Jackie Cunningham with the Poultry Community Council wants Oklahomans to understand.
Each poultry company requires their independent contract farmer to, one, abide by all federal, state, and local laws, and two, that they operate under a federally or state-approved nutrient management plan.
And a producer must have one of those plans in place if they intend on spreading the chicken litter or manure as fertilizer. Yet it's becoming more and more difficult for farmers to utilize the litter produced because of contamination concerns stemming from runoff and an increase in the phosphorus levels downstream from the poultry farms in eastern Oklahoma.
I've never considered poultry litter to be a waste product. Never. I do not like that term waste. It is not a waste.
David Holcomb is a sixth-generation farmer and poultry producer located just outside of Jay, Oklahoma, and says it all comes down to how you manage the distribution of the litter.
We've soil tested since the beginning of time. I mean, this is not a new issue for us. But if the soils are managed properly, litters are applied properly, you don't have an issue of phosphorus runoff or phosphorus overload. And that's what we strive for here.
Holcomb runs 4 pullet houses that hold 10,000 birds per house and says the litter produced is a good source of fertilizer for his Bermuda hay pastures. And without it, he would be forced to use commercial fertilizer.
Commercial fertilizer has gone through the roof this year. It's terribly expensive.
And is just one of many concerns, like the lawsuit filed in June of 2005 that Oklahoma placed on 14 poultry companies for polluting watersheds, which has inadvertently put pressure on producers.
I think one of the major things that we're going to have to worry about, or that we are concerned about, is that we don't get so many rules and regulations in here that it forces our integrators out of the state. And when that happens, and if that happens, our poultry barns that's in Oklahoma become of no value, and we don't need a place to store additional hay. When we lose these and they come off the tax rolls, and we see our banks close, and we see our schools run out of money, then we may wake up and realize that this wasn't the issue that we thought it was. Now, there's no question that litter is probably one of the issues, but it's not the only issue that needs to be addressed out there today.
Leaving producers and officials between a rock of maintaining the environment and a hard place of holding on to a $3 billion industry that provides over 12,000 jobs and affects the livelihood of eastern Oklahoma.